like to tell you a little bit about myself. For those of you who may not know, I've been a writer almost my entire life. I started out at a very young age, in high school, when some of my essays and poems were submitted to the newspaper. I also submitted one of my pieces to Vogue magazine. Out of 1,280 entries, I won. After college, I took on a job at the Washington Times Herald. I was a camera girl. I took pictures and also did interviews, varying from random citizens on the street to higher officials, such as Senator John F. Kennedy. That's when I first met Jack. That's what most people call him. After Jack and I got married, my writing ambitions were put to the side a little bit. But being a senator's wife, I found my way around it. I did little things, such as respond to mail, translate articles, and draft my husband's statements. For Jack's 1960 presidential election, I was pregnant, so I played a limited role. But I wanted to help him the best that I could, so I did little things, such as write a column in the campaign life, and I also ran a radio campaign commercial in a foreign language. I wanted it just as bad as he did, and he won. I took my role as First Lady very seriously, naming my priorities straight off the dot: my family and my children. However, when I got into the White House, I did a little redecorating. Not only did I redecorate all the family rooms, but I also historically restored all the public rooms as well. When people come to the White House, I want them to realize how important the past is and to see where the White House has been. I've also made very many international trips, both with my husband and on my own. On these trips, I made personal friendships with all the other world leaders. I'm not afraid to speak my mind, no matter who you are. For those of you who may know me, I was kind of a fashion icon in my day. I designed all of my own clothes, and more than any other First Lady, my styles were copied by commercial manufacturers and also by a large group of young women. I was the first First Lady to ever be on the cover of a magazine, and I also made several television appearances. In the year 1963, I had two distraught losses occur in my life. In August, I gave birth to my third child, Patrick. He was diagnosed with serious lung ailment and was rushed to the hospital. 2 days later, he was pronounced dead. Jack and we were devastated. I needed him and he needed me. That's what made November that much harder. On November 22nd, my husband was shot. I didn't even see it coming. What I thought was a motorcycle backfiring was really a gunshot, and I hadn't even realized until I heard the governor scream. After 2 more shots rang out, I immediately went over to my husband. I had to cover him from the nation. It was my duty to him and to the country to protect him. They didn't need to see him like that. We rushed to the hospital. I needed to see him before he died. When he was pronounced dead, I was heartbroken. I took my wedding ring and I slipped it onto his finger, feeling as though I had lost everything. I played a very big role in his funeral. I know with most presidents, the government takes care of that, but as his First Lady and his wife, I felt that I had a right to be a part of his funeral. I gave thanks to all the Americans who sent us messages and their concern for our family. For about a year after that, I really didn't go out much. My family and I moved back to New York, where we continued to live our lives there. Luckily, I was blessed to find a new life and a new love in Aristotle Onassis. My life is many things, one to remember and one to look up to.